So, we have quite some people online already, and I just want to make sure that we are all together and we can communicate. Hello, hello. For those who don't know me, my name is Teddy. I'm Teddy Angelova, and the president of the International Institute of Coaching and Mentoring for Bulgaria. With some of you, we have already met in person. With some of you, it will be our first experience together. Although today you'll be just really shortly with me, because today we are gathered to talk about a very interesting topic with one of the most interesting people I have known, and this is Barbara Cormack. So, I see more people coming in. Maybe we can give them a minute or two, and in the meantime I would like just to draw your attention to the communication board that GoToWebinar has provided for us so that our session today goes smoothly. And many of you are already familiar with it, but for those of you who see it for the first time, I would just like to point out 2 or 3 very important things. Number one, you can see a green button with a mic. Right now, all attendees to this session are muted just for communication hygiene reasons, so that we don't have any noises that would interfere or will disrupt our communication. And during this webinar, if you would like to answer a question or step in with a comment, participate in something that Barbara does with you, you just press on the mic sign on your right panel and you can step in. If you need help, just press the button that shows a raising hand. And to make sure that you all find that button, could you please press it so that I can see how many people have found it? Can you raise your hands? Press the raised hand button. Perfect. Good. Good. Thank you. Thank you very much. So, the third thing I would like to ask you today is to take a look at the next option that you have to communicate with us during the session, and that is the chat option. During the presentation, if you have a question or you would like to make a comment and you don't want to step in right away, you can type your question in the chat log and we're going to address it as soon as we can. Or we are going also to have a special section for answering questions at the end of the presentation. I'm sure Barbara will give you many chances to step in, but I'm not going to give you promises on her behalf, because I know she will take your attention just like nobody else. So, who's Barbara? Do we have everybody on board? I think we can get it started right now. Barbara, would you like to start the recording?
I have, thank you.
Okay, perfect. So, Barbara Cormack is one of the first people that I got to know when I joined the IAPC&M. And to be honest with you, this is the person who has been closest to me ever since we started doing anything in Bulgaria. She was the person who took care of all our questions, whether they were in regards to the webinar content, whether it's in regards to setting up emails and websites, whether it is in regards to policies and practices. She is like the heart and the soul of the Institute. And I'm really, really happy that, Barbara, you could join us today to start the International Coaching Week with this very special event with you. Because being so special for us and our team, I'm really happy to introduce you to everybody, to all our audience. And I'm really, really happy. That's the only word I can find. I was trying to figure something else out. But right now, I'm thrilled. I'm really thrilled to present to you Barbara, who is one of the most renowned and trusted coaches and mentors, who is personally taking care of many professionals in different businesses. She is a businesswoman herself, and she will tell you a little bit more about it later. She is author of books, helping people to write their own books, helping businesses to develop, and through her experience, both professionally and personally, I'm sure she will be an immense source of confidence for us so that we can find additional instruments to reach our inner confidence after that webinar. So, I think it's time for me to step out, Barbara, and give the floor to you. Thank you so much for being with us today.
My pleasure. Thank you, Teddy, and what a wonderful introduction. But listen, before we start, let me tell you two things. One thing is that I always put notes of all my webinars into the members area, in the IAPC&M members area. So please don't feel you have to write down everything I say. You will actually find the notes published there later this week. As Teddy said, questions can go in the questions box, and I will open up the floor at the end for an open discussion. But I'll also give you the opportunity to email me directly. So if you have any questions that you'd rather ask me personally and offline, please feel free to do so. But before we begin, let me introduce you to the IAPC&M. The IAPC&M is an abbreviation for International Institute of Coaching and Mentoring. We're an officially recognized international accreditation body for coaches, mentors, training providers and clients. And our aim is to create excellence in the coaching and mentoring professions. Our webinars demonstrate our commitment to support our members through the caliber of information we provide via webinars like these, our blogs and our think tank articles. There are three main members areas: the associate members, the accredited members and the professional members. Associate membership allows anyone who's interested in coaching or mentoring or is studying to become a coach or a mentor to gain more information about the profession. Accredited members are qualified coaches or mentors who are able to demonstrate their training and experience in the industry, whereas professional members are accredited members who can demonstrate their competence through up-to-date continuing professional development. Take some time out and explore the IAPC&M members area to find out more. And if you're not a member, ask Teddy how you can join. So let's start talking about your inner confidence. Often the demands of the outside world take over, and each time this happens, you give a little bit of yourself to each demand. Each time you give a little bit of yourself, you are changing your own inner power. When life is busy and you're focusing on what needs to happen, it is very easy to find yourself just reacting to situations. You might find yourself reacting to a situation and maybe saying something like, "He or she's made me very cross." So spend a few moments and ask yourself some questions. Things like, when were you last overwhelmed by emotions? When did you last lose your temper? When did you last get angry or impatient? When you walk away from a conversation, how many times have you regretted your actions, what you said, or maybe even your attitude? How do you feel when any one of the above happens? How do you let the news or items you've read on the internet influence you? How do you let other people's behavior influence the way you think and feel about yourself? How distracted do you become about outside events? What makes you feel about your life less important than those outside influences? When was the last time you immediately reacted to a situation? When did you last walk away from a situation and afterwards realize that there was another side to that situation? What happened when you stopped and thought before you said something? If you answered positively for any of these questions, and let me tell you, most of us do, other than that very last one, you are impacting on your own inner power. Confidence is generally recognized as a state of being, certain that a chosen course of action is the best or most effective way, or that a suggestion, proposition, or prediction is correct. Self-confidence is being confident in your own state of being, of your own decisions and is recognized as having confidence in yourself. The decisions you take have an impact on your whole life. Whether these decisions are taken consciously or unconsciously, you will start a chain of events that will take you one step closer to the future you choose. Or will it? Life is a combination of phases and segments. Often the phases happen without you even being aware of them. Being born, learning to walk, going to school for the first time, going to a high school, college or university, your first job, subsequent jobs, your career, marriage, family, grandparents, and retirement. And that's just to name the standard range. Whereas other phases may be planned, changing job or changing career. Throughout each phase of your life, you will have a range of segments that cross these phases. Friends, partner, husband, wife, often known as significant other. Finance, work, career, personal growth, energy, self-esteem, physical fitness, fun, recreation, optimum health, fitness, holidays, and the list goes on. Now, this can all be represented by an adapted wheel of life. As a spiritual life coach, the wheel of life is used to represent a helicopter view of your life as it is today. But for the purposes of your inner confident, the phases of your life can be represented by the circle, starting from the center of the circle, your birth, and moving outwards. The segments are represented by the spokes of the wheel. An example of your segments could be something like this. At any time or phase of your life, you could take this wheel of life and use the lines to represent exactly how you feel about that segment of your life right now. But for today, those lines represent the phases or the ages of your life, with each line representing roughly about 10 years, for example. Now, as you move through each phase of your life, you have more options in some segments, and you may feel more settled within a particular segment. Or you may include that segment or exclude that segment. Each phase of your life will be different for each segment of your life. For example, if you take study in personal growth, you start learning from the moment you were born, and through your early and formative years, you were formally and informally learning. It is often said that children are like sponges and soak up everything around them, consciously or unconsciously. And it's during these years that your beliefs and values are formed. Henry Ford said, if you think you can do a thing, or you think you can't do a thing, you're right. Each decision that you take, consciously or unconsciously, the segments will become more defined in the way in which you want them to be. Decisions taken with confidence are more likely to be the decisions that will help you move one step forward towards your innermost dreams or aspirations. Everyone is entitled to happiness, and whatever happiness means to you, just know in your innermost heart you are actually entitled to it. As a young child, everyone had a dream of what their adult life would look like or be like. Often those dreams we hide from the world. You keep them inside of you for a number of reasons. What would your life be like today if every single one of those hidden dreams had come true? Moving from one phase of your life into another doesn't always bring with it the feelings of confidence. Going to your first school, moving from one school to another, leaving school and going to college or university, going to your first job, all different phases that are made easier or more difficult depending on some of the other segments of your life. For example, if you go to your first school at the same time as your best friend, it's a much easier step than if you go to a new school where you know no one. People with inner confidence seem to be able to move through these and other phases with absolute ease. And I say seem to, because you don't always know what they're feeling inside in their innermost hearts. Marie Curie said, "Life is not easy for any of us, but what of that? We must have perseverance and above all confidence in ourselves. We must believe that we are gifted for something and that this thing must be attained." Now, I don't have all the answers, but I can help you work towards building your own inner confidence to help you achieve the life of your dreams, one step at a time. I'm going to ask you some questions and give you some moments to answer them. You can select to share your answers through the questions option or just write them down for only you to see. I'm asking you to answer these questions from your heart, from your intuition, and not from your logical mind. Don't interpret your answers, don't analyze them, just write them down. You're entitled to happiness, so take a moment now. Put yourself on this boat. You're in the middle of the ocean with the beautiful, clear waters around you, and you're lying on this boat, imagining your perfect life. Just write down the first words that came to your mind. Underneath those words, I want you to answer these two very specific questions. Do you live your dream life right now? Do you believe you're entitled to live your dream life? You know, you are entitled to live your dream life. No one, absolutely no one, has the right to tell you that you are not allowed to. But, and yes, it's a big but, as always, often each one of us stops ourselves from living the life of our dreams for three reasons. The first is that we don't have the inner confidence in ourselves to believe that we can. Other people will tell us that we cannot. We fear the hurt that we may bring to other people if we make that decision to do so. The first reason is the one that uses the other two reasons as an excuse. Moving from one phase of your life into another gives you huge opportunities. Opportunities to create your successes in your own life. Building and maintaining your own inner confidence will give you the opportunity to achieve your own innermost held secret and often wildest dreams. Yes, you can live the life you dreamed you could live. But you know what? It's your choice. Confidence comes from within. It's not something that you can create overnight. It will take time and effort. So let's start at the very beginning. Capturing your dream, your innermost secret, may feel hard. It may feel as though you're going to hurt others in your life today. It may feel as though you are going to let others down. Remember one thing as you start this exercise and go through each step. If you do not select to live your own dream life, who's going to live it for you? Honestly, nobody else is going to give you your dream life. But the first step is to truly understand what you want from your life. And the way to do this is to truly capture your innermost thoughts. Your journal is one way in which you can capture your dreams, your aspirations, your innermost thoughts, your concerns and your fears. And although there are many definitions of your journal, it is really your personal and private document which allows you to capture your own thoughts, fears, concerns, barriers, dreams, aspirations, and often unspoken goals. Finding somewhere quiet where there are no disruptions, no interruptions, no phones, no one wanting to talk to you, gives you the opportunity to capture exactly what is on your mind. Often these are thoughts that you may not want to share with others, or maybe even voice. They are often known as your innermost dreams, that dream you don't believe you can achieve. But let me tell you, you can. Capturing your thoughts exactly as you hear them, whether they make sense or not, releases them from your unconscious mind. It is important that you capture them as you hear them. Don't try and analyze them, or rationalize them, or think about them. Just write them down. Your journal will allow you to capture your innermost dream or dreams. those dreams or that dream you've never told anyone about. Capturing these dreams through your journal allows you to start to truly understand what you want from your life. Each thought you capture will consolidate and clarify your dream. As you capture your thoughts, you'll find that they may create or define a single or a number of dreams. Each of these dreams may be in one segment, or they may cross segments of your life. Achieving just one of these dreams will take you into a new phase of your life. Visualizations are really important to achieving the life you wish to live. Being able to clearly visualize your own future as you would like it in a positive, present tense and personal way helps you to keep focused on your own goals. Visualization may be simply seeing you living your dream or creating a picture board of you living your dream. In a quiet space with no disturbances, take yourself forward to a time when you are actually living the life of your dreams. Visualize it in your mind's eye. What do you see yourself doing? What are you wearing? Where are you? Who's with you? What are you saying? What are you hearing? What are they saying? What are they doing? What are they wearing? Why are they with you? What colors are around you? What are the smells or aromas around you? Absolutely visualizing everything, bringing it in, making it real, helps you actually get there. Capture your visualization in your journal in as much detail as you can see. Picture boards are fantastic for this as well. Put a photograph of yourself up there wearing the clothes you believe you're wearing and put everything around it. One of the benefits of being able to visualize yourself in your own future is that when the time comes, when times are not so easy, you can bring your visualization to mind and know that you are moving one step at a time towards your dream life. The third step is building your own inner confidence is to create your goal. This will give you the chance to convert your dream through your visualization into an achievable and sustainable goal. Now, although there are many techniques that allow you to do this, the one I use, which I find the simplest technique, is the SMARTER acronym. And you take your dream through the following process. S stands for specific, M for measurable, A for attainable, achievable, and agreed, R for relevant and realistic. And even if your goal doesn't feel realistic today, as long as you can actually visualize it, it will become real. T stands for time-bound and time-framed. E for evaluated and exciting. Do you know if that goal's not exciting, you will never ever achieve it. You really want to be living, breathing, thinking about your goal at all times. And R stands for recorded. Now it's at this point that you will truly start to discover the meaning of your own inner hidden dreams. You're about to start your own journey of self-discovery. Using the information that you've captured in your journal, through writing in your journal and through your visualization, you really will now be able to create your own goal. A goal that meets your innermost dream, a goal that's achievable, a goal that will bring you to the point where you are living the life you've always dreamt of living. To do this, each element of your goal must be clear and well defined. Without absolute clarity, you will not be able to achieve your goal. As you define the specifics of your dream, you will go through periods of internal self-discovery. It's important that as you discover new elements of the internal you, or you gain new learnings and experiences, that you capture these in your journal. Acknowledge them. Without knowing the specifics of your goal, how would you be able to measure that you've achieved it? An example of a specific and measurable goal is one where you want to lose weight. Now, if you didn't know how much weight you wanted to lose, how would you know that you've achieved your goal? So rather than defining a goal to lose weight, you would define a goal to lose a specific amount of weight. Now, although your goal may feel as though it's not attainable or achievable, every single goal is attainable or achievable. And if you agree that you really want to achieve it, you will. Frequently, your innermost dreams are the only ones that you really want to achieve. But until you agree that you want to achieve it, you won't. It's an internal agreement. It's an agreement with you, yourself. Now, I may sound harsh, but honestly, without your own agreement, your goal will probably remain your dream. It may be that, although you've agreed that you want to achieve your goal, that you feel that it's not attainable or achievable. And one of the things to remember is that in goal achievement, you will take one step at a time to achieve your goal. You will not be trying to achieve it in one whole step. The larger the goal, the more steps you may have to take. However, it is important that you create a goal that is realistic. There is nothing stopping you creating a goal from your dream. For example, if your dream life includes running your own company, which employs 500 plus people and earns you several $1,000,000 a year, you can do this as long as you are realistic about the time that it might take you to achieve it. Relevant goals are always your own goals. You may often feel that the goals you should be achieving are those that will make other people happy, but really, you should only be achieving dreams and goals that are your own. Setting goals that are relevant to the direction you want to take each segment of your life is important. It's undemanding to take the easy way out. Where you find you're achieving someone else's dream and achieving their goal, the goals that you choose to spend your time and energy achieving really should be those that are relevant to your life. Time-bound or time-frame goals are interesting. Now, as a spiritual life coach, I'm aware that the spiritual world works on a completely different time zone to that us humans work on. And phrases like go with the flow and it will happen at the right time come to mind. But what research shows is that without a time frame, you will not work towards living the life of your dream or achieving your goals. When setting a time frame, it is important that you are specific and measurable. In this, you must have a date, month, and year included, and some say you must actually put the time of the day as well. Now, although E stands for evaluated as well as exciting, I know that unless you're truly excited about the goal you've defined, you won't achieve it. A goal you're excited about should be one that you live, breathe, touch, taste, and feel at every moment of every day. It's the goal that makes you tingle when you think about it. Recording your goal in short sentences that are written in present tense, positively and personally, are your opportunity to be absolutely clear about what you want to achieve. All those thoughts you've had, all those ideas you've had, are now brought together in a single focus. So if you take the goal to lose weight, and today is the 4th of January 2015, write something like, today is the 31st of December 2015, and I've lost 2 stone. It gives you very clear goals that by the end of this particular calendar year, you will have lost 2 stone in weight. As you go through this process of understanding and capturing your dreams, and then defining your goals, it is important to understand who you can share this with. Some people close to you may not want you to achieve your goals. This is not based on whether you can or whether you can't, but on their own fear of change. It is normal for them to wonder that by achieving your dream, what changes you're making to their lives. Having understood and clarified your dream and then defined your goal, now is the time to start looking at achieving it. Now, Henry Ford's statement is an accurate one, but you sometimes feel that you can do something until one very small fear raises itself and everything comes to a halt. Yes, you can select to work with a coach or a mentor who will support you in every element of the achievement of your goal in a non-judgmental, non-directional manner, while maintaining your confidence in every element of your conversation. But you can do this yourself too. Take yourself back to your visualization. If you now look at the goal, you've written it down. Does it match your visualization? If it doesn't, stop. Work out what is not right with your goal and recreate it. Or Equally important, work out what is not right about your visualization and recreate your visualization. It's very easy to say believe in yourself, and in your innermost heart you do believe in yourself, but, and there is always a but, if you honestly know that you can live the life of your dreams, you do believe in yourself. You do have the inner confidence to take that step or steps you need to take to move yourself forward. But if you don't have that belief that you can live the life of your dreams, you need to explore the reason or reasons. Now, I do have permission to share this experience. Sitting on a beautiful beach in Madeira in 2009, I was talking to a client when she told me that the only reason she was still with her husband was because her son was still at school. Being aware of one of her innermost secret dreams, I was aware that this relationship was stopping her moving forward. The first to making the change she wanted to make was to be able to live the life of her dreams, was for her to actually tell me. By telling me, her coach, that she wanted to do this, she was also telling herself. Her son was going to be at school for another few years, so did she put her dream on hold? Well, no, she didn't, and yes, she did. We worked on defining the goal that would allow her to create the life of her dreams. It's important to remember that taking one step at a time allows you to move closer towards your goal. Sometimes the steps are small ones, and at other times they may feel huge. Whatever size the step is, taking one step after another towards the future you visualize keeps you moving towards achieving your goal and your dream. So by defining her dream as an achievable goal, she was able to take the first step. Now, although we were working on other goals and she was achieving them, this one goal was never too far from the surface, and slowly, step by step, she was able to move it forward. In our first session in 2014, 5 years later, she started the call with, "I've told my husband I'm leaving him." Wow, that was a huge, huge step forward. 5 years after defining the absolute goal, things started to move very quickly. One of the things that had stopped her telling him before was her fear of hurting him. She was holding on to a relationship that was not working for her because of her concern about someone else. She didn't believe in herself. She didn't believe that she could honestly live the life of her dreams. What happened? Through working with her journal, she realized that she was holding on to a fear for someone else. The fear wasn't hers, it was his. She realized that by holding on to him, she was not allowing him to express his fears. She was not allowing him to talk about her dreams or even his dreams, her wants or his wants, her desires or his desires. She was making a decision for both of them without talking to the other person involved. She said that she'd felt this overwhelming desire to tell him. So she sat down one evening at the dining room table and said, "I don't want to be here anymore." His response, you know what? He wasn't surprised at all. And they were both really surprised at his response. A few days later, when he had the chance to think about it, he agreed that they'd been holding on to a relationship because they were used to it. Speaking to her in the past couple of weeks, she now knows that she is living the life of her dreams. She is in her mid-50s, completely retrained in a brand new career. She's living in a small one-bedroom flat on the other side of the world in a country whose culture she did not know until she actually walked off the plane and rented the flat. When I asked her earlier this year what she wanted from her dream, her response was, "Nothing more at the moment." She wants to experience where she is right now. Now, it took her 6 years from the moment she admitted that she wasn't living her dream life to acknowledging that she was. Having made the decision to believe in herself, she was able to take that first step to making the changes she needed to make. Your journal is the one tool that you have to capture your innermost secrets, from the details of your dream all the way through to the fear that is stopping you achieving that dream. Write down everything in your journal. This is a confidential place for you. Nobody else will see it. You can write in there what you want. You can say what you want. The positives, the challenges, the concerns, the fears. The only thing I'll ask you is if you write down something negative, immediately stop yourself and rewrite it in a positive sentence. If you find yourself writing down that you can't do something, immediately challenge yourself. Why not? Why can't I do it? Write down that you can do it and that maybe you just need to find out how. By using your journal as your confidant, you will allow the universal thought process to provide you with a level of unconscious support. As a spiritual coach, mentor, and trainer, I work with universal communication all the time. And a major component of your universal thought process is your unconscious mind, also known as your power center, and it functions at every level of your being and within every cell of your body. The universal thought process is simply the way in which you use your own internal thoughts, conscious and unconscious, to communicate with yourself as well as with everyone else. So if you're communicating negatively, you're communicating with everybody negatively. And if you're communicating positively, that positive will come through. A major component of the law of attraction is the universal thought process. And although there are many definitions of the law of attraction, what it really means is that you get what you focus your thoughts onto and into. So if you're truly telling yourself through your conscious or unconscious thoughts that you cannot live the life of your dreams, you know you truly won't. But if you believe that you are allowed to, by giving yourself permission, you will find a way to be able to do it. I know from my own experience that this happens. Moving to Madeira from the UK with my ex-husband was confirmation of this. Now, I had lost my first soulmate to illness, and it was only 15 years later when I was sitting on a beach in Madeira that I allowed my spiritual farewell to happen. I hung on to his energies for many years and knew internally that it was time to let go. Within a few months of that happening, I knew that the marriage I was in then was not right. The signs were there and I had not noticed them before. As my marriage crumbled and I moved out the house that we'd only just finished rebuilding into an apartment, other people came back into my life. And it was really, really interesting as I was letting negative energies go and negative thoughts go. I was building an inner confidence within myself. I didn't know that, but it was happening. And one of the people that came back into my life just after all this started to happen was somebody I'd met when I first moved from Central Africa to the UK over 30 years beforehand. Long story, but this guy is now my soulmate, and yes, we are now living together in rural France. After sitting on that beach as part of my farewell, and many times after that when I was meditating, I was working with my journal, and I realized that all those unconscious requests that I'd made to the universe were now truly coming true. We gain strength and courage and confidence by each experience in which we really stop to look fear in the face. Now, Eleanor Roosevelt said that. We must do that which we think we cannot do. Putting all your thoughts, concerns, fears, goals, achievements, successes, and questions in your journal gives your unconscious mind the opportunity to let them go. Just the act of writing them down gives you the feeling of having support. By writing in your journal, you're letting them go and now allowing your power center to work with the universal thought process. Without realizing it, your unconscious mind will work through your questions, your concerns, your fears, and as you capture your next and future thoughts in your journal, you'll find answers presenting themselves. Those wonderful eureka moments. Building your own inner confidence is not something that's going to happen overnight. It will start with a sudden realization that you've started to believe in yourself. And as you start to truly believe in yourself, you build your own self-confidence. Self-confidence is truly being confident in your own state of being, of taking your own decisions confidently, consciously, and knowingly. Gradually, you'll begin to realize that the journey you're on has become a journey of self-discovery, a journey of achievement, a journey of successes, and a journey that has started to build your own inner self-confidence, one step at a time towards achieving your dream. Now, another tool that will help you continue to develop your own self-confidence is meditation. It's a skill that allows you to get beyond the thinking mind and move into a deeper state of relaxation and awareness. One purpose of meditation is to relax your body, calm your mind, both conscious and unconscious, and quieten those many thoughts, fears, concerns, and questions. Quietening your thoughts gives you the space and time to honestly focus on creating and maintaining your journey of self-discovery and achievement, your journey one step at a time towards your goal. Now, there are many ways and techniques which you can select to meditate, and these encompass a wide range of spiritual or psychological practices. Whichever way you select to meditate, the way or technique more often involves turning your attention inwards to a single point of reference, focusing on your breathing, for example, or if you're me, waves breaking on a beach or a candle flame. Some might use a meditation CD or DVD or a piece of music or something very similar. Whether you practice meditation now or wish to learn how to meditate, the outcome of meditation is to move your mind, body, and spirit from the busy place it is now to the achievement of a higher state of consciousness and awareness, a place of quiet and deeper state of relaxation, creating and maintaining your own inner confidence. A meditation technique I often share is a simple one, which allows you to capture those thoughts without interference. When you start your meditation, whatever meditation you choose to start, ask yourself one important question and let it go. As you come out of your meditation, listen to the thoughts that are coming to you and capture them in your journal. As always, write them down. Don't interpret them, don't try and understand them, and never try to analyze them. Just capture what you're thinking. Without action, your dreams, your aspirations, and your goals will never, ever be achieved. Every coach and mentor knows that unless you take that one step forward, you will not achieve anything. Coaching and mentoring is all about taking one step at a time. The step could be a small one or it could be a huge one. Either way, it will take you one step toward your goal. Anthony Robbins, a great person for motivational quotes, said, "Remember, a real decision is measured by the fact that you've taken new action. If there is no action, you truly haven't taken a decision and you haven't decided." Thomas Edison said, "The successful person has the habit of doing things failures don't like to do." There are thousands of motivating quotes about taking action, but as a coach or a mentor, you know that without taking that step of action, you will not live the life of your dreams. We do it for our clients. We help our clients take that one step. What's stopping you doing it for yourself? It is important that as you achieve each step on your path to your goal, that you acknowledge that success. We aren't that good at acknowledging our own successes. So now is the time to work out how you will. What would you like to do every time you have a success on your way to achieving your goal? One step at a time, you are now going to build your own inner confidence. Each step, you may feel as though you're climbing a hill. Now, some steps on this hill may feel really steep and tough, while others may feel really simple and very, very easy. We gain strength and courage and confidence by each experience in which we really stop to look the fear in the face. Do you know that's a really important thing to remember? Every time we want to make a major change to our lives, whatever the change is, it doesn't matter. We are going to have something comes up that says, you don't want to do this. Or somebody's going to say, no, you don't want to do this. You have to stop. You have to look that fear, that concern, that phrase that's coming at you absolutely square in the face and write it in your journal. Write down what you're worried about. Write down the reasons you're worried about it and work through them. Step one, on any plan that you want to make, any goal path that you want to take, is often the hardest. Starting on something new always feels a little daunting, but unless you take that first step, you can't walk towards living your dream life. So how do you build your inner confidence? Remember, confidence is not something that you can learn through reading a book or by following a set of rules. Confidence is a state of mind. So by taking each step on the path to your dream life, you will be building your inner confidence, one step at a time. Now, it's important to remember that as you go along this path and you take each step, there will be points where you achieve mini goals. Recognize those achievements, celebrate them. There may also be times when you feel like you've plateaued and that nothing is happening. But remember that changing habits takes time. So it may be that you need a little time to implement and include the change in your life, so that that change you've made through the steps you've taken really becomes feeling like the norm. So you take step 1, step 2, step 3, and you've suddenly achieved something. You've reached a point where you've got a mini goal. You've started to make the changes you want to make in your life. Celebrate that small change. Acknowledge it, recognize it. Then take step 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Another small goal is reached. Brilliant! Wow! Now some of these small goals may need to take some time to become the normal, to become part of your life in a way which makes them feel as though they were always there. You were always doing that. You will know when the time is right for you to move onwards and upwards, and you'll take step 11 and continuing taking steps or giving time to let things become normal until you've reached your goal. Remember, goals may take years if they're really big. Now, what's the reason? If you're looking at this picture, I don't include step 4 and step 10. Each mini goal or milestone that you reach is a step on its own. The actions for these steps are recognition and celebration of your achievements. Your inner confidence comes from your achievements, your feeling of well-being, from facing your fears and doing them anyway, from learning new skills, from accepting your achievements, your preferences, your abilities to outsource when you don't enjoy doing something, your experiences, and from the gradual realization that you do truly have a belief in yourself. Planning and preparation helps when you feel less confident about a new thing you need to do or something you think of as difficult. Planning is what you need to do to take that step, and doing any preparation that will help you take that first step is something that will help you build your inner confidence. Learning, knowledge and training always helps you feel more confident about your own ability to handle situations, new or different roles or tasks. Take the time to do your research and time to learn through formal or informal learning what you feel you don't know. Positive thought. This is the only way that you can, without anyone else or anything else, build your own inner confidence. Each time you find yourself thinking something negative, write it down in your journal and convert it to a positive statement. Remember Henry Ford. If you think you can do something, you can do it. But if you think you can't do something, you can't do it. Do you know what? It's your choice. Positive thought is used by everyone around you who knows how to be successful. It's a very powerful way to improve your own inner confidence. Helen Keller, the first deaf and blind person to earn a Bachelor's of Art degree in the USA, said, "Optimism is the faith that leads to achievement. Nothing can be done without hope and confidence." She's an author, political activist, and a lecturer. Role models. Talk to others, follow their leads. Vince Lombardi said, "Confidence is contagious, but so is the lack of confidence." So if you're talking to others who don't believe that they could do it or that you could do it, you are being influenced by them. Find those people who truly believe that you can do it. Now, I learned this lesson in my mid-20s when I had to learn to walk again. I was surrounded by people who were positive. They truly believed I could do it, and at no point was I allowed to consider that I could not do it. In the 1980s, when you had a spine operation, you were given an anesthetic that should knock you out for 48 hours. Not me. My body doesn't like anesthetic, and I was wide awake only 4 hours after my operation. My specialist got the physio down to my bed, and she encouraged me to get up and start to learn to walk again now, right now. My specialist, the physio, or I could have selected to go the easy route and wait until the 48-hour period was over and then start, but no. The time for me to take my first step was immediately. And to this day, I have never regretted it. So find those positive role models and build your own inner confidence from theirs. Change the way you think. Know your own strengths and weaknesses. Use your journal. Write down all the things you're good at. Write down the things you're not good at. Those things you've written down that you are not so good at, do you need to be good at them now? If so, how can you learn to be good at them? Or can you outsource them for somebody else to do? We all make mistakes, but every mistake you make or failure you have is a learning opportunity. Use your journal to capture what learning you take from each mistake and look at it positively. Compliment yourself. You can learn to compliment yourself if you can accept compliments from other people. When somebody gives you a compliment, thank them. And you know what? Ask them for more details. Ask them why they gave you that compliment. Exactly what did they like? Learn to recognize your own achievements. Compliment and reward yourself. Use criticisms as a learning experience. Remember, everybody sees the world from a different perspective. What works for one person may not work for someone else. Often you'll receive criticism from the person who is not seeing your world from your perspective. Don't reply to any criticism in a negative or defensive way. Rather, thank them for their input. Write it down in your journal and look at what they've said. Ask yourself, do you need to change anything? Positivity. Although it's not easy to try and to be cheerful or happy or positive, try and do it. Never complain or criticize, but if you need to provide feedback, always do it in a positive and constructive way. In that way, you'll help the other person to take a positive learning from what you say. But positivity is one of the keys to inner confidence. Experience. As you successfully complete each step, each task, each activity, each mini goal, and each major goal, your inner confidence will grow. Recognize and acknowledge your experiences. Be assertive. What this means is that you need to stand up for what you believe in. You need to stick to your own principles. It also means that you can change your mind if you believe it's the right thing to do, and not change your mind because you're under pressure from other people. Assertiveness does not have to be seen as a negative thing, as long as you're being assertive without being arrogant. Arrogance is detrimental to interpersonal relationships, and in that way detrimental to you. Assertiveness, self-esteem, and inner confidence are all really, really closely linked. You become more assertive in your belief of yourself as you develop your own positive inner confidence. Admitting your mistakes shows that you're human and that you're willing to learn from what you have done. Remember, nobody is perfect. You can always learn from something you have done or from something someone else has done. Building your own inner confidence is a personal experience, and it will take time. And how long that building your own inner confidence takes can only be determined by you. Your inner confidence can only come from you. It is something that we all have, but something we may have been influenced not to believe in. So take some time to really create the life of your dreams. Use your journal to capture your dream in as much detail as you can. Using your journal provides an opportunity of openness and honesty with yourself. Your journal allows you not only to capture your innermost dreams and thoughts, but also your fears, your concerns, your goals, your achievements, and your successes. It allows you to become very specific, measurable, agreeing, realistic, time-bound, and excited while you record every goal that you dream you could achieve. Visualize yourself living your dream. Clearly and absolutely, using tools like the SMARTER acronym, define your goal in as much detail as you can. If you don't believe in yourself, Start to work out the reasons and work out what you need to do to be able to believe in yourself, because truly that may be your step one. Be clear about how you think, because remember, you get what you ask for. As Bob Proctor has said frequently, if you ask for debt, you'll get debt. If you ask for abundance, you'll get abundance. Use your own meditation technique to start listening to your inner voice. Meditating provides an opportunity to clearing your mind. It is simply being quiet to calm your mind, your body, and your innermost being, to allow yourself space and the opportunity to communicate with yourself. Take action. Acknowledge every step you take. Recognize your changes. Celebrate your achievements. I always suggest that you should select a time of day in which you can spend at least an hour with yourself, where you have no appointments afterwards. Take your journal and your favorite pen or pens and find that quiet space where you'll have no disturbances and settle comfortably. For me, there was always one beach on Madeira. Nobody ever found it. Nobody ever could find me there. It's advisable to have a glass or bottle of water with you and quietly go into your own selected meditation. Now, when I'm talking meditation, I'm talking a time when you can calm yourself down. No two people meditate the same way. Some do it very formally and some do it very informally. But one of the things you need to do at this time is to let your mind become empty of all thoughts. Now, how do I do that? I learned to meditate by literally, having been a tennis player in my earlier years at school and a few years after I left school, I used to take my tennis racket in my mind. I used to hit those thoughts out again. So I used to tell them that I didn't need them right now. Thank you very much. You need to let your body relax. Let your spirit wander. Feel yourself floating in a true sea of calmness. And as you begin to come to the end of your meditation, the end of this quiet time, bring yourself back into your surroundings and ask yourself that one question you need the answer for today. It's the one question that will help you move into the next step of your goal. It's the one question you know you need to ask yourself to conquer a fear or face a concern. Whatever it is, just ask yourself it. As you feel your mind starts to give you the answer or answers, capture them in your journal. Don't interpret them. Don't interpret what you're writing down. Don't analyze them. Don't analyze what you're hearing. And you know, one of the important things to do is also to write down what you're feeling. Just write it all down, your thoughts and your feelings. As you begin to realize through the detail that you're capturing in your journal that you are taking each step toward your own selected goal, that you are succeeding at each task you undertake, that you're achieving each milestone you set, that you are being successful, that you're thinking positively, that you're looking and doing everything you say you want to do, you'll be moving ever closer to that dream you've got. You'll begin to understand that internally you now have your own inner confidence. So thank you for listening, and I'm handing you back to Teddy.
Thank you very much, Barbara. Wow. That was quite a plunge into the insides of humanity and the human mind and the human soul. Thank you very much for taking us on this journey. So let's address our audience and ask for your comments. What comes to mind? Do you have any questions? If you have any questions, you can just unmute yourselves and step in, show up, or just put your question or comment in the chat box, whichever you prefer or feels easier for you. What do you think? Any questions for Barbara? Zornica is saying, thank you, Barbara. Now chat box.
My pleasure.
Thank you, Zori, too. All right. Anybody who wants to step in? Jules is saying, thank you for an excellent presentation. Thank you to Jules. All right. Okay. Okay, Annie is saying exciting presentation. Thank you, Annie. Okay. I'd like to give our audience another minute to think about it and decide whether they have a question or not. And I'm kind of tempted to make a comment because your presentation, Barbara, really took me on an insightful journey because I myself have been going through some turbulent times in my life. And it turns out that the insights that we can achieve going on that journey are something that we need to decide on. We even need to put a goal for ourselves just to make the decision. I want to do something. I want to be confident. I want to be this, and really, really visualize it. And don't worry so much about the result, but enjoy the journey. That was my my thinking during your presentation. Thank you so much.
Okay, we have got 2 questions.
Yes.
Zori's asked, why do we need to celebrate? You know, often we don't recognize our own achievements. You'll recognize everybody else's achievements. You know, they've got that certificate, they've got that name, they've got that personality, whatever it is, you'll say, wow, weren't they good? But when you get your own certificate and you get your own presentation, you never turn around and say, wow, wasn't I good? So one of the things that we have to learn how to do is say that we are good. And the other question, which is actually completely related, is what's the importance of saying thank you, well done to ourselves? The importance is that you start consciously and unconsciously to understand what you're capable of, especially where you've actually had a fear, a really big fear of something, and you've suddenly got past it. And you can look back and you can go, oh, that wasn't so big, that wasn't so worrying, wow, didn't I do good, I achieved it. And it builds that inner confidence in you every single time you do that. So if you don't do it, and other people have to do it for you, they don't recognize that at the same level as you would. You know, somebody walks up to you and they go, wow, Barbara, you did that really well. You go, thank you, that's great. But you don't know you did it really well because you haven't told yourself. Somebody else has told you. So it's the combination of recognizing and allowing people to say thank you, that you did something really well, and to also go, you know what, I did do that well. And every time you can do that for yourself, I mean, what I do with my clients is I actually suggest they find one thing that makes such a difference to themselves that they want to go and do it to celebrate. Now, I've got one client who's fantastic because every time she wants to celebrate, she goes to the gym. Now, for me, that would be not a celebration. But for her, it means she's taking time out of her busy life to spend that hour with herself in the gym. So it's often about finding some way to recognize you can thank yourself, you can give yourself back something. And it all helps us on that step by step to building our own inner confidence. And the one day you know you can say to somebody, I can do that, it's not a problem, you know you're getting there. So I hope that's answered your questions. Any more?
Well, it seems like we don't have any more questions.
Well, as I say to everybody, there's my email address. Please feel free to drop me a line if you've got a personal question you want to ask. Contact Teddy. I know she knows how to get hold of me as well. And I look forward to talking to you all soon.
Thank you very much, Barbara, for the exciting presentation and all the insights that you shared with us today. Thank you all for attending our webinar today with Barbara. I hope you enjoyed yourselves, and we really welcome you again to our next webinars I just would like to remind you at the end of today's session that every day, tomorrow, on Wednesday, on Thursday, and Friday, we're going to have one webinar for you, once again, on different topics. Follow us on Facebook and LinkedIn for all updates on the events handled by the International Institute of Coaching and Mentoring, as well as about information about accreditation, the process, the stages, the levels, and everything. Thank you so much to you all for being with us, and thank you to Barbara.
My pleasure. Speak to you soon.
Speak to you soon. Have a nice evening, everybody. See you later.